Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and I'm here to bring you guys yet another Crossover Battles video. And in this one, it's going to be Danzo versus Akainu. Who do you guys think would win, and why do you think they'd win? Now, my faithful subscriber, Tevin SSJ7, actually picked out this fight. And basically, his reasons were for the nature of justice, how we see Danzo, how he works as far as doing things in the dark, and how he's basically a shady leaf ninja, but at the same time he works to protect the leaf. And Akainu, and how his nature of justice is, and how basically he tries to complete his goals in order to he's using the Marines in order to do so, or he's at least putting his sense of justice on the Marines and spreading it throughout the world. Now, this fight, I would say, is kind of a weird one in the sense that their abilities are totally different in every way. You know what I mean? Danzo, I'm going to go over Danzo's abilities, of course, and I'm going to go over Akainu's abilities. Danzo, his abilities include, of course, wind-style jutsus. As we see when he fought Sasuke, he can create wind bullets, and he can even create, wind scythes, and even, put wind onto kunais and turn into a wind sword and all that kind of stuff. So he does have some pretty crazy wind style jutsus. I wouldn't say it's anything crazy like a Rasen Shuriken or anything like that, but again, it is pretty useful. We've even seen him use the wind to glide around a little bit in the air, not fly, but be able to just weave around a little bit in the air. So again, that is a kind of a pretty useful and helpful ability. Not only that, but Danzo does have these curse seals that he can place on his enemies. Like, for example, when he's fighting Sasuke, we see how he was able to grab Sasuke's throat and place a seal on him. And when he did that, then Sasuke actually was paralyzed and he couldn't move. And that basically gave Danzo an opportunity to get ready to try to attack Sasuke. Of course, Sasuke used Susanoo and escaped from the curse seal. So that technique, I don't know if that would be really useful in this fight, but the point is that he does have that. Now, Danzo also has, of course, the Sharingans in his arm, but he has a Sharingan in the eye, which is also a manga kill Sharingan of Shisui, which does have the ability of Koto Matsukami. Now, I don't want to count a Koto Matsukami in this scenario for two reasons. One, I kind of feel like Koto Matsukami is not really a fair jutsu to use in these kind of scenarios, and the reason why I say that is because, if you look at even in the Naruto universe, I mean, there is probably only a fair amount of people who can start Koto Matsukami, and I would say probably just Jinchuriki, straight up. Not only that, but since Akainu is he doesn't have chakra and he has haki and all that kind of stuff, we don't know necessarily what the properties of haki are yet, whether they're spiritual, because we know chakra has spiritual energy and physical energy, so we don't know if it's spiritual or anything of that sort, so I can't factor it in the scenario for that reason as well. But one other thing I would say, though, about Danzo having the Sharingan in his eye is that he can use it as far as any other Sharingan and be able to read one's movements, predict what they're going to do, that sort of thing. So that definitely would be helpful if he does decide to use that in battle. Okay, one other thing that Danzo could use, of course, is Izanagi, and we all know he has a little the Senju DNA and the Uchiha DNA on that arm, where he can use Izanagi, I believe, for a minute at least 10 times, I believe. So that is something that would be useful against Akainu, most definitely, because if Akainu does manage to kill Danzo off rip, then I mean, he's coming right back right there. I mean, that's again, Izanagi, if you know anything about it, I mean, you can escape death. A person can practically die and still come right back. So I definitely think that will probably be one of his most useful techniques in the battle. In fact, I would say the most useful technique in fighting Akainu. And the last technique I would say that Danzo has is his last resort, where he can use the reverse four seals sealing technique, which he used against Sasuke as a last-ditch effort to try to take Sasuke and Tobi with him. And didn't work out too well. The sphere is kind of large. It wasn't massively large, but it was still pretty big. Sasuke and Tobi almost got caught in it, but they did manage to escape it in time. And basically what it does is it seals everything into Danzo's corpse. So I would say that definitely I definitely would say that would be something that could affect Akainu most definitely in battle. Now, let's move on to Akainu's abilities. Akainu has the power of the Magu Magu no Mi. Now, the Magu Magu no Mi, what that really is basically is basically lava lava fruit or magma magma fruit, where he can create limitless amounts of lava or magma. And as we all know, since he is a Logia type, that means Logia types can't really be affected by just normal type of moves. You basically have to either have a countermeasure for their element, like for example, we look at Crocodile. The only way Crocodile can be hurt without like usage of Haki is through like maybe wetting your hands up and maybe hitting him, or basically wetting him up and then trying to strike him. So you have to find a way to counter that element. So I would say maybe that Akainu's weaknesses are probably water, ice, that sort of thing. And probably another thing you may be able to affect him in his battle is probably other unusual methods, like maybe like a sealing technique as Danzo has, or maybe even something that like, you know, poison him, like maybe some kind of poison gas or something of that sort. You can't necessarily affect him in just a normal type of way. Now, I would say one of the other things that Akainu has, of course, is Armament Haki. We don't know if he has Conqueror's Haki, nor do we know he has Observation Haki, but he definitely does have usage of Armament Haki, seeing as how he used it with the Admirals when during the Whitebeard War they created some kind of barrier. Not only that, we even seen him use it to counter Marco's attack using Haki. So again, yes, definitely Akainu does have great usage of Armament Haki. I think he's probably even more skilled with Luffy with that, in my opinion. At least I think he has more potential than Luffy in that department currently. Now, I'm going to say one of the most probably signature moves that we've seen Akainu use is called Daifunku, or Great Eruption, where we've seen him create this giant lava fist where he basically can lunge it forward. And it kind of reminds you of Luffy's Giganto pistol or a jet pistol or anything like that, because it's just basically a giant lava fist coming towards you. Now, it is extraordinarily powerful, seeing as how it stopped this basically giant mass of ice that Jozo threw, that was created by what's his name? Aokiji's ice, or when he froze the whole lake. So again, definitely, I mean, this move is pretty powerful, and it would be probably very effective against Danzo. Now, let's move on to the scenario. Now, the scenario is like any other that I mentioned in my Crosshair Battles videos, where you have a grassy field, you know, a few trees, not too many. You have a lake, you know, it's not so big to the point where it's going to make a big factor in the battle, but it is, you know, big enough. And you also have, you know, I'd say maybe, you know, maybe a few rocks here or there just to shift the terrain a little bit. You know, it's not just a flat field, kind of shaky, little rocky. And we have these two guys, Danzo and Akainu. Now, here's how I think it would go. Danzo's techniques, wind style jutsu, if they start off and he used wind style jutsus, I do think that they would create a lot of trouble for Akainu, because he could slice them up. I don't think necessarily Akainu would be able to avoid all of them. And, you know, not only that, but Akainu has seemed to be one to try to act, or actually just Logias in general, don't really avoid a lot of moves or techniques since they are Logia types. So I do think that he probably would take in some of those techniques and probably just let them hit him. And that would probably, in a sense, wouldn't really be, you know, doing it for any of them, because Akainu, if he's just taking techniques, it's not like he's really dishing anything out, then it's not affecting Danzo. And if Danzo's dishing out all these techniques, it's kind of more or less just wearing down Danzo, and Danzo's not hurting him any. So I definitely would say that wind style jutsus would not be effective against Akainu. Izanagi definitely would be probably something that would save Danzo quite a bit, because Akainu, in my opinion, would have the clear advantage in this situation if he's using his lava and Danzo has nothing to be able to affect him. Not saying that he couldn't slice him up and do different things to him, but, you know, if he can't affect him in any type of way, then I definitely think that that Akainu could just keep the attacks up, and he's eventually gonna have to use Izanagi. Now, for how long the fight may continue, who knows how long, because I mean, Danzo may, you know, dodge a lot of the techniques after a while, but eventually he's probably going to get hit, since he doesn't really or he hasn't at least shown any other techniques that he can use to be able to help him effectively in that battle. But I would say one thing, even if, let's say, Izanagi did, like, let's say he used Izanagi a maximum amount of times, I do think that there is one technique that Danzo could use that possibly could help him win, which is probably the reverse Four Seals barrier. Now, I'm not saying that Danzo would win because, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that Akainu would be the winner of this particular scenario. So I do think I am going to give it to Akainu in this crossroad battle. But I do think there is a slight chance, if Akainu is not careful, that Danzo could go out using his reverse Four Seals barrier, or Four Seals sealing technique. And that's how I think that Akainu could possibly lose, because again, Akainu is only affected basically by probably very few moves or techniques. You can't just beat him in a straight up, like, I'm just gonna beat you up or smack you down kind of way. You have to probably beat him using some type of water, or maybe ice, or even maybe like, well, of course, Naruto characters can't use haki, so that wouldn't be effective, but haki, or even like maybe an unusual method like poison or sealing, something of that sort. So that's definitely think that that's the only way that Danzo could possibly win in this fight. But tell me what you guys think about this. Do you think that Akainu could win? Do you think that Danzo will win in maybe a different way? Because again, Danzo, the reason why I don't think he could even win is because he has no way of hurting him. I mean, even the cursed seals wouldn't have an effect. I mean, if he tried to touch him, I would picture Akainu would just spew lava out and burn his hands. So, again, like, who do you guys think would win? Please leave it down in the comment section below. You can even make a video response to this if you guys want to. Also, don't forget to rate this video. So if you did like this video, then please put a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, then you can put a thumbs down. It's your choice, guys. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my content and you want to see more. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.